Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name is Kate. Today I am doing a book review, arc review, over Hide by Kiersten White. This is her newest release that came out last month. And I didn't love this. I have read previously by Kiersten White, And I Darken, and I actually really enjoyed And I Darken more than I actually thought I was going to enjoy And I Darken. Didn't realize it was historical fiction. I kind of thought it was fantasy. It's not. This one is a horror novel. This is an adult, I believe, is what it's classified. That's what I would classify it as. And it sort of gives me the same vibes as Cabin in the Woods, in a way that, like, these people are bringing in this other group of people to be slaughtered for a reason, basically to the gods. So in a sense, it is kind of like Cabin in the Woods, but it's not as satirical and not as good, in my personal opinion, as Cabin in the Woods. This time it is about a cult, basically. And you would think that's a buzzword for a lot of people, cult, but this just didn't do it for me. So we follow mainly, this is broken up into 14 perspectives. Well, not really 14 perspectives. We follow 14 people who are thinking that they are going to be on this game show. Or basically they're thinking they're playing hide and seek for this game show. And they are taken to this amusement park. Now, the amusement park setting is the best part of the entire novel. I think there was a lot of interesting things about this novel that could have been expanded upon, but just weren't expanded upon. I particularly like the backstory of the cult itself, especially since it's not just the people that were living in that town. There was another town that was also involved, and basically, back long time ago, these families made a deal with a god to be prosperous and everything, like having everything, but they had to sacrifice people. Otherwise, the god would just come and kill random people. So, and it couldn't just be random people. These people had to be in some way related to the families. So the god wouldn't just kill anybody, he would just kill people from these families. And I thought that was interesting that that's how this system worked. But I think what could have helped the story was not seeing the monster at all. We finally do get to see the monster at one point, but it's for one scene, and that was it. I think if we had not even seen the monster at all during the entirety of the novel, I think that could have been really interesting and build more suspense. Also, this book is split up into multiple perspectives, and the cast of characters get more and more confusing. I think if we had just followed one or two different perspectives throughout the whole novel, it would have made it less confusing, and we would know what the people we are following know. And, if they don't know something, like, more about these people, that's okay, because they only knew each other for, like, a day, because they died. This novel could have been really interesting. I just think there was a lot going on. It was too short, way too short, for what it was trying to do. And it just fell flat. I ended up giving this 3 stars. And I've got several other things that I want to talk about. A lot of these characters we get just bare bones stereotypes of a lot of these characters. The villain of the group, besides the actual villains, I wish there was more about that, made him more of a villain, or more of like an antagonist, but it really never did. There could have been something really, really interesting with that character, but suddenly he just like died. And it's like, okay, well, that could have been interesting, but you just killed him. Okay, great. Would have liked to see more about the cult, because that was interesting. And then the atmosphere, of course, atmosphere was the best part of the entire novel, the amusement park. In the small town, also around the park. Writing was okay, could have been better if it was one or two perspectives, as I said. Plot, the setup was interesting. Just give me, as I said, vibes as Cabin in the Woods. But it wasn't clever and it wasn't satirical like Cabin in the Woods was. I was expecting a massive showdown at the end. This is the massive, massive flaw of the book. I was expecting a massive showdown. And sort of, I think Kiersten White was also trying to pull off the ending of Cabin in the Woods, but she didn't. It was really, really bad. And then the book just ended very suddenly. You know, like, final showdown, kind of showdown with the main antagonist who brought them there, and then just stopped, ended. And we're just like, wait, what? This is where we're ending? Wait, where's the rest of the book? Because, like, this is such a terrible way to just end the book. Just stop. And no, we don't get to see anything turn out of that. I was mad. This is why I read this book like a couple of weeks ago. I actually finished this book on the day it came out. I've been so angry about this book. I have been trying to decide what to rate this book because of that ending, really. And I didn't hate, like, majority of the book, but, like, this ending really got to me. So bad. The ending's so bad. Could have been interesting, but no. I really think Kiersten White was trying to pull off a Cabin in the Woods. The ending of similar to Cabin in the Woods. It just didn't do it. She hadn't built that up enough. You see, Cabin in the Woods had this massive, massive scene where the antagonists are getting their dues. And that just didn't happen in Hyde. She tried and it just failed. It failed massively because this book isn't long enough for what she's trying to do. I was interested in the cult aspect of the novel and wish that was more of that, but didn't flesh out any of the interesting bits. And when things got to be interesting, book ended. Logic, cults are very real and very scary. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a cult like this out there in the world. Followed its own logic. Enjoyment, this was just kind of meh. The ending really ruined it. I needed more interesting characters who were fleshed out more and more about the cult. So I'm giving this 3 stars. Could have been 4 stars or maybe even 3.5. Ending just didn't do it for me. I would love a book more similar to Cabin in the Woods, and I think this could have been really interesting if it did try and be more like Cabin in the Woods. It just wasn't. Well, that has been my review for Hyde by Kiersten White. I hope you did enjoy this. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought. Did the ending ruin it for you as well? Well, I thank you guys so much for watching. Go be a good cabbage today. Do something kind for someone, even if that is for yourself. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.